So I'm going to look at how to build these nice little scrolling railings. And so I'm just going to turn off the clone modifier for the moment. So just look at one of them. Oops, come back. There. It's made with a turbo smooth mod, and then the cool thing is these got these you can bin that, that's not needed. 2 levels of symmetry, so one for that way and one for that way, which is super helpful for modeling a whole bunch of objects which are symmetrical in this way, because it just means I can just manipulate vertices in 1/4 of the mesh without worrying about trying to scale everything uniformly and stuff. Everything gets updated on the fly, and that's really neat. So let's start building it from scratch. So I'm going to start off with a plane. And I'm going to turn it to an edit poly. Press F4 to show my edges, and then I'm going to delete some stuff. Like that. Add a symmetry mod. And then I can get to modeling my silhouette. Yeah, maybe I want to do this. Delete that. Cool. And then I can click on that edge and drag it out using Shift, and then drag it out again using Shift. And then finally for that, and then just do a bit more shaping to get it into place. Oops. Okay, so that's a good start. So I want to give it some thickness. There's multiple ways of doing it, but I'm just going to show you this extrude way of doing it. So if you work in this kind of symmetry way, you need to be aware of something. So if I drag all these faces and I do extrude like this, I've given the object some thickness, which is good, but I've also created, let's do that again. So when I do my extrude modifier, it creates faces all around the border of the current selection like that, and you can see it creates those faces, which is correct. But when I do that, it's made a bunch of junk faces in the middle of my object. Let's just get solo the object. Those faces are bad, we don't want those, so you need to make sure that if you do these, oops, there we go, if we do those extrude operations, you need to be conscious of those faces and you need to kill them as quickly as possible. So I'm going to delete that now. So now when I look at my symmetrical object, you can see that that area is now clean of any junk mesh. So now it's a good point to add my second symmetry modifier. Like that. And then do some final shaping just to kind of sort it all out. So I've got my show end results on now, so I can see what's going on as I work. I'm going to double click this edge to select the whole loop and then drag it back. Double click that edge to select the whole loop again. I don't want that edge because I want that to stay in the middle, so I'll deselect that. And then I can drag that out as well like that, and now I have some shape. Just fix up that top section. Make it a bit pointy. So this bottom bit is going to be attached to a cylinder. So I'm just going to make a rough cylinder shape now. And when I'm working on the plane, I just want to make sure that I use that axis of the move tool rather than that, so that I keep everything glued together properly. So I can delete that now. Just fix that. Yeah, maybe just the last bit of tweaking there like that. Okay, so let's just add a turbo smooth mod on top. So I need to add it on top of the stack. I need to make sure that I go and select the top symmetry modifier and then add turbo smooth on top of it. If I don't do that, I need to make sure that I can drag the turbo smooth modifier into place on top of the stack, and you can see it changes very much the look of the mesh as I do that. So like depending on how things are stacked, it will change the mesh in different ways. There you go. So because it's on top, it's smoothing the whole mesh as opposed to just part of it, and that's not so bad. Just the last bit of shaping. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's the top part of my mesh, and I think I'll pause the video here and then we can look at how to attach this to a cylinder.